Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another one of our Rich Reflections sessions where we're going to take about a half hour out of our day to simply just think more intentionally about our own lives. And through this and this habit, we'll get better at, not even better, like clear. We'll get clearer on the direction we want to be going so we can go full velocity. Love it. So let's start this session how we do every session, and that is 5 minutes of breathing. And begin. So all we're going to do is just sit, try to be on a flat surface, and sit straight up as if your spine is a string and someone's pulling it up above. And all we're doing is just breathing in and out. If thoughts come to mind, simply just let them pass. I'm charging my phone with the MagSafe thing. It's been frustrating. Like, I'm starting to notice I feel like I talked about this like 2 reflection sessions ago. How my 13 is starting to show a little bit of difficulty keeping up with technology and things. The pace. It's just like, its processing is a little slow. It's lost a step, lost its fastball a little bit. Anyways, welcome back. How did that feel? Feel good? We're good? Let's begin. And we're going to start with, what are we grateful for? Gratitude and patience. I'm grateful for the people I've been collaborating with. Every day feels like progress towards purpose and mission. It's so fulfilling, so rewarding. These are 3 of our latest books. 2 Views, 1 Vision. Humanity, this is Humanity in Society with Timothy Hayden II and I. As a Man Thinketh and Other Works by James Allen. And Taylor Swift and the Empowerment Era. A children's book with great nature landscape illustrations. I'm a big fan. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful watercolor. So put those over here. I like the stack is just getting bigger and bigger. And that's what's cool too, is it's not slowing down. We just keep going. And so every month I get new books to add. Pretty soon it's going to tip over. I'm grateful for that. How's our posture? Let's check in with our posture. I do feel that, like, at times I'm, like, even when we were just breathing here, I feel like I wasn't as erect and straight. I think I'm developing a tendency of, because I'm working at a desk all the time and on the computer, I'm like leaning towards it. And I think my vision, I'm getting a eye exam soon. These glasses are from 2015, so I find myself having to increase font sizes on computer screens. Anyways. We want good posture. It shows a competence, You don't want to look like you have a stick up your butt, but, you want to be competent. I have some espresso here. It's in the afternoon. Just kind of indulging. I feel pretty good today. Actually, I cleaned out one of my drawers. That's something about me. And let's pose this for the next question. What's something, not that we struggle, not even necessarily an area of improvement, what's something we've acknowledged about ourselves? And for me, it's like when I get these loose papers or sometimes receipts, just random things, I just put them in drawers, just so they're out of sight. Like, my sight is very clear, everything is clean, minimal, but the drawers stack up to sometimes where I can't even close them without having to play a little Tetris game. And I found one of my coasters from Paris. And not that Paris wasn't on my mind every day, but now it's like right here in front of me. Whereas these coasters are from the Athletic Association, downtown Chicago. One of my favorite places. So what's something about us that we acknowledge is a thing of ours? For me, it's like 95% is clear, and then there's like 5% where I just kind of throw stuff in the closet. And I think that has to do with my mind, too. I just kind of shove it somewhere. It's not in the way. I'll deal with it another time until I have to deal with it. Yeah, today feels great. It's mid-September. It's about 80, but it's like a cool 80. It's perfect. This is perfect. It's not hot, but it is definitely not cold. It's just right. It's just right. I like... the weather affects me, I think, and my moods. But earlier this month, like Labor Day was cool. I was in Chicago Labor Day weekend, and definitely it was cool. You could sense the season changing. And September 3rd, the day after Labor Day, September 2nd, the day after Labor Day, I woke up and I could just feel it, like it was colder outside, and it was. And now it's like bounced back. I like this. I like this weather. This is great. You know, the colors are starting to change. Something that I think made my day really special was taking a walk in the woods late morning. I brought my notebook and I just sat there. I wore like a mosquito net hat because mosquitoes, they're out there, man. They're out there for sure, and they're having a party. And I'm their guest they're looking forward to. But it was cool. I was just relaxed. Sat in the woods for like an hour. Yeah. I'm trying to... and this is our next question. What can't we do anymore? Like, what? We have to do things differently. If you had to do something differently, what is that right now? What should you do differently? What isn't working? What needs to be done differently? For me, it's so odd. It's like, like Ryan Holiday with The Daily Stoic. well, he has another book called The Obstacle is the Way. And I think that's a good way of framing something where, like, we've identified, like, what is in our way. And that's oftentimes the way to take. And for me, it's like social media. And I like just living my life and not having to be on my phone and screens, but it's preventing my growth. Oh, there's a blue jay. Beautiful. And so today, I approached this day with the intention of not doing things as usual. And so my brother-in-law was over. He was pushing my godson on a tire swing on an oak tree here at the farmhouse. And he's like, "What are you doing today? What are you up to today?" I said, "I'm recording videos for TikTok." Such a bizarre thing to say. Because it's not tangible. That's the issue I've had with my mind is like it's not tangible. Whereas like designing, creating a book, it's very tangible. It's very real. I put it out. I hold it in my hand, you know, and just like videos for marketing, it's just not. It doesn't feel tangible, and so I neglect it. But we have to raise awareness of what we're doing. Anyways, took a different approach today, but I have a lot of energy from the weather, from caffeine. No, I had a really good session with someone I collaborate with, and there's just more clarity, and it feels so good. Clarity feels so good. What could we get more clear at? Take inventory. I have to do that this week, actually, with books. Take inventory of what should we be more clear on? Yeah, it's such a great day. Yesterday, I had a rough day after I got a lot done. Like, after I got a lot done, it was kind of like a bonus, and I'm just kind of playing around. But I was on my computer screen. I was staring at my computer. I was on my computer way longer than what a human should be doing. And my eyes were just like, my whole energy was zapped. I didn't have juice, you know? And I just kept trying to work and work and work and work and work and work until 10 p.m., you know, like I'm watching Sunday Night Football with my computer and I'm trying to do stuff still, but just not being clear on the day of like, where does it end? You know, I think that's really helpful to know where things end. And just relax. How are we doing with physical exercise right now? You know, have we been moving our body? And specifically, what does that look like if we are? Or if we're not, like, what specifically could we be doing to help just get our body moving and flowing again? This next question is going to be really personal, but if we're the average of the 5 people we interact with most, what is our analysis of who we are? And is that what we want, or do we want something different? So think about, I don't want to say top 5, but like, who are the 5 people you allow to most influence you intentionally? I had a really interesting conversation this last week about this, and how there's some shifting going around, how there's shifting occurring in my present 5. And it's both disheartening and energizing at the same time. But to consciously think that in order to keep growing, certain relationships need to take a back seat and others need to take a front seat. And it's interesting how one can shift and another just kind of, the vacuum is filled very quickly often. It's really interesting. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about like geographic location. In fact, most of my 5 isn't where I live, and it's all over. But it's something to really think about. Okay, if you were to prescribe yourself a habit to get into and sustain over the long term, what would it be? I intentionally ordered the questions to start off. It's this new book. It's about humanity and society. The first question is, Rich, what's the biggest problem in the world today? The lack of imagination. That's the biggest problem today. It isn't just a creative problem, it's a survival problem. How sexy this is. It's so sexy. I love wallpapers. I'm a big fan of wallpapers. What's something about design that you love? You don't have to be a professional designer to appreciate design. Just like, what is something that you appreciate the way it looks? It could be an NFL helmet. It could be a car. It could be a style of clothing, a clothing item. It could be a glass, I just got a whiff of just chilling at a Parisian cafe. I'm exploring some French jazz right now, designing and creating French jazz music. I'm stuck on like titles and names though, and like themes. I don't know if it's cliche to name things like French things or French culture things, whether it be a street or a cafe or a person or an art piece, or I don't know. What's something we hate? If we hate something, what do we hate? In that answer lies direction. What you want to do is lean into what you hate. So for a long while, I hated French culture. Not hate necessarily, hate the like belief with like French people that their culture is the best. Like no culture is better than others. And here in America, I love that we have so many different cultures, and there's so many, everything is so varied and different and unique and possible. But French culture, it's like, this is what it is, and it doesn't really change. But it kind of is like as a singular culture, it might be the best. And that's how I've viewed it. It's like, I don't know. I have been impacted by it, influenced by it. I like it. It's very thoughtful. It's very intentional. It's very purposeful. It's a lot of vision with it. Yeah, so lean into, I got a fleur-de-lis on my ring here. Yeah, lean into what you hate. Because there's probably some jealousy or envy or like, there's something there. There's something there to explore. But we shouldn't hate anything, and by exploring what we hate, we dissolve that energy. I wonder, like, politically, if someone has one ideology, do they hate the other? Do they hate a person who's the opposite ideology? So if you were to explore that, what does that look like and why? It's like, would it be like a jealousy that there's opposition and that there's validity to their ideology because it does exist, It's a counterforce. Like, how did that counterforce come into an existence? How are you coming across it? Well, it's because it's lasted, or it's survived. It's been tested in a way, Yeah, polarity. That's an interesting concept. Doing the opposite of something. You know, like on Seinfeld, George starts doing the opposite of what he would normally do, and then his life becomes better. That's kind of how I approached today. It's like, what is not working right now? I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to do the opposite. Let's see if something's different. Okay. What are we curious about recently? Yeah, something... I think something that felt good is like I slowed down enough to take care of something that's been an issue, and I just haven't addressed it. And that I've had a tent out by the woods, and during the summer I would sleep in it. But then there's been a few thunderstorms that wreaked havoc on it and just like demolished it. And everything got wet. Everything's wet, and I haven't been in since, and the tent has collapsed. So today I went over there and went by it and dried it out, set it back up, took items out, dried them out, put them in the sun, and feels good. Feels renewed. All right, what are we energized for in the next week? Thanks for being here. It's good to have that desire to want to be better, to take advantage of the gift of life. You're given the gift of life. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to let it just live you, and you're not going to, take action in it? And, or are you going to make the most of it? And be an energy that gives more and more, and will benefit from your life having been lived, As a Man Thinketh in Other Works, it's a great book that we created by James Allen. I wish I would have had this in my hands much earlier in life. I think it would have been extremely valuable. And man, we did a fantastic job. Look at this. Look at how beautiful and sexy this is. It's gorgeous. The wallpaper and then the fonts. I've been so particular with the fonts. Yeah. The Mastery of Destiny, the Path of Prosperity, As a Man Thinketh. It's a good-sized book. It's not too intimidating. It's not too short, though, at the same time. It's around 200 pages. Here's some lines. Man is made or unmade by himself. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all of his thoughts. And on that thought, thank you for being here. We'll see you next week. Inspire the future.